Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
If everyone below average IQ suddenly drops dead, how would this affect the world? Found Peter Thiel's burner ACCT. Nah, I'm here. Oh snap, the real one. While I got you here, you know whatever shoulder-fired rockets you're funneling to whomever will one day be turned against your flying chimp, robot hybrid Wizard of Oz army, right? I'll just say this. Not everyone who is an idiot is useless. Also, not everyone who is useless is an idiot. Not everyone with a low IQ is an idiot. Well, that's like 50% of the population of Earth. The amount of carbon being produced would drop dramatically and TBH the global climate crisis would probably halt. But that would happen just because you've got 4 billion less people. The global economy would collapse. You would lose a lot of very skilled and unskilled people who despite IQ are critical to keep our modern world moving smoothly in numerous industries and fields. And a high IQ does not automatically mean you're not an idiot. No one is immune to propaganda. There are assholes and power-hungry people happy to be corrupted no matter what level of IQ they have. It's very knife edge whether it becomes a utopia or fall back into the old ways. But it's likely society would collapse, factions would form, wars would happen. Similar to any post-apocalypse film you've seen. Also, you have 4 billion bodies to dispose of, otherwise disease will thrive. You would lose a lot. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Yeah, I know. Peace at last. The average would still be 100. By this logic, cues up Queen Asterisk, there can be only one. Caveat, the new 100 would be more mentally capable than the prior 100. Just to clarify for those that don't understand. It's like an ELO. Don't worry about clarifying for those who don't understand, they won't be around. There would be massive accidents initially from all the vehicles, manufacturers, and everything else where people were involved. Then, all the dead bodies would create a massive disease problem. Tens of millions would die over the ensuing months. Hard to say beyond that. It would be like the Black Plague but all at once. Worse plague eliminated 1/3, but spread over time. A fairy toparakakon talolhato figjelmesteto kinkake vega falesligeshevel nornik. Check out the madness here. Forbidden Juice Club. But can I put my baby in the dishwasher? Once, yes. Reddit would be 100% bots then. Already is. Now it's 24% human karma whores, 75% bots, the rest of us are 1%. Lots of really talented people who are really good at what they do would be gone, and people with average to high IQ would struggle to fill their role in society. I think the survivors would be surprised by who was taken and who remained. Funko Pop stocks in shambles. Because it's a bell curve with most of the population close to 100, you'd end up losing a lot of people in that 95-ish area and retaining a lot of people in that 105-ish area, which honestly wouldn't be all that different. Losing the 85s matters more than whether you have 95s or 105s. The left tail is very different from the 105s in amount of car crashes, crime, demand on welfare, dumb voting behavior, and more. Reducing people to a number like that ignores how messy and uneven real life actually is. You can't cleanly separate society into problems and not problems without missing the point entirely. And a lot of the more essential functions in keeping society running. We'd have to elect a new president. Government. It's always real weird when our Askreddit stumbles headfirst into eugenics discussions. I genuinely do have a low IQ. I had to get tested professionally a while back as part of a broader mental health assessment, and I turned up with a 2-digit number that didn't even start with a 9. Seeing all the people in this thread laughing about how, at least, insert bad group of people, would be dead if this happened is really disheartening. Like damn, that's what you associate people like me with. Edit, the IQ test was in parts, and the parts one struggled the most with were absolutely things I struggle with in practice too, fluid reasoning, at 83, and oh boy, that does check out. It was validating to me. It helped me finally realize my struggles in life, particularly, though not entirely, with school was never a matter of applying myself, not focusing enough, not working hard enough, etc. IQ tests have a lot of inherent biases and issued, i.e., being presented with a picture of a hoe and a scathy and a potatoes and wheat. If you were asked to group them, the acceptable answer would be to group by tool, hoe and scythe, but, for people who do farm worker, they will most likely group hoe and potato, and scythe and wheat, because it's based on use and harvest. Also, there's distractibility, level of tiredness, not being told how to take it, overthinking on questions and interpretations, how well you are feeling on the day, etc. I know some of the people in this thread wouldn't make it. The question asks, suddenly, not continuously. This indicates a single event. Life would be hard for a bit, but it would be survivable. Everyone reading this thinks they'd make the cut. Every single one. Well, I would definitely make the cut. My IQ is 99, which means I'm smarter than 99% of the people. Go home, Thanos. You're drunk. ITT people trying to give smart comments to act as if they are nog below average IQ. Ha ha ha, you said nog, that means you spelled it wrong. I am so smart. FR, I'm like, I'd be Thanos snapped out of existence, which honestly sounds kinda nice right about now. Pretty quick the world would realize, average IQ people are basically the ones keeping everything from collapsing, so it'd go from smart people run everything to why is nothing working and who restocks the shelves. Real quick. Personally, I don't think it's necessary that dumb people are in low-skill jobs or that smart people are in high-skill jobs sometimes. I don't believe we live in a meritocracy, but rather just a luck of where you're born and the privileges afforded to you. And a question of drive and interests and a whole bunch of other variables. I have a high school classmate with a top 2% IQ who spent a decade working in a grocery store. We would suddenly have a new average IQ, but it would still be 100 IQ. We'd have a new president, for one. Yeah, and the Republican Party would almost completely vanish. Party leaders, probably not. Voters, absolutely gone. I'd be more forgiving if they were all stupid. Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz, shoot, even Mitch McConnell and J.D. Vance, are plenty smart. The problem is they're octopuses, smart but spineless. Honestly though, we'd probably have a species-level crisis with the loss of basically our entire farming industry. Yeah, I don't think so, unfortunately. I was going to comment that there would be a lot of people still alive. That would be a surprise. He'd be one of them. But it's the easy answer for Reddit, so there ya go. I think it depends on how the evil genie defines IQ. IQ at age 10, which is when it is often assessed and after which point it tends to remain consistent through adulthood. Trump probably makes it. IQ assessed today. Trump probably dies alongside a bunch of other elderly people who are losing mental stamina and focus. I don't think there's any denying that he's slowed down significantly this term. And how immediate is the test? If you're a normally smart person who happens to be staggering drunk during the event, are you screwed? Vance is still around though. He's not thick, he's just an ass. IDK, IQ can drop a lot with age. Removed. Low IQ doesn't mean much in the real world. It's not like a low IQ person is a useless idiot or something. Hundreds of millions, or even billions of below average IQ people still have acquired skills and are working the jobs that are critically important to humanity. You will be surprised to know how proficient a so-called low IQ person can get at any given task. So, likely the result will be just as, or even more, catastrophic than if everyone of above average IQ dropped dead. I don't think people in general have any idea what a spectrum of intelligence looks like. I've had students with IQs that measured in the 70s. They were curious, attentive children who could read and write and carry on an interesting conversation. They tended to struggle with testing, with some recall and relating information together. They played with toys and built Legos and had friends. I'm sure they went on to have pretty normal outcomes. The entire premise of OP's question just makes me want to go back in time and stand over these children like a fucking Valkyrie or something. It's just so upsetting. They must have had a severely bad day when they were taking that test. People with an actual IQ in the 70s absolutely do not go on to have pretty normal outcomes. Yeah, the premise of the question, and a bunch of arrogant answers from people who believe they are smarter than average, really stinks. Do we have a word for IQ supremacy complex that would be similar to any other supremacy complex? Well, that would be a lot of dead people, since being the exact average is rare and a decent percentage are 1 OT low points below. It's also not that accurate range of intelligence anyway, and I think we'd probably end realizing that rather quickly. Also, the actual average would immediately change, perhaps resulting in a situation where it's stuck in a recursive loop, eliminating more and more people based on each recalculated average. There can be only one. That depends if everyone dies at exactly at the same time or if it's gradual. If it's the former, then exactly 50% of the population will die. Otherwise, everyone except for the smartest person on Earth would die. Half, exactly. Yeah, it would be pretty much a Thanos snap situation. Everyone, correcting, this point would be in the disappearing half. A Reddit EGY Nagian CS Enders Heli Lenny, AZ Biztos. Wow, this blew up. Since we all clearly enjoy people failing at basic common sense, I've created a sub for this exact kind of chaos, our Forbidden Juice Club. Come join the club. I've already posted some gems from my local store. Test tube lotion bottle skull. We wouldn't have any mods. Well, then I'd be dead. Then where will we get our dysfunctional dildos? Question mark. Society would collapse way faster than people think because average intelligence is doing a lot of the actual work holding daily life together. The only people making our food would be the smart burnouts then. Isn't that how it is now? Burnt out and broken educated individuals who work as a cafeteria lady, can barely afford to keep the used car, have to pay their $1,000 a month college loan and cry in the janitor's closet. Currently there are actual idiots also working. There'd be a huge number of people who were surprised to find themselves dying. No, there wouldn't, as they'd be dead. ITT a bunch of people that can't even change a car tire thinking they're going to survive the IQ apocalypse lol. In general, anytime questions like this are asked, it gets real eugenics why real quick. You mean those people I don't like would just disappear? Surprisingly, or not, changing a tire isn't on an IQ test. One of the many reasons why it's flawed.